Let's get some analysis from Robert Maginnis. He's a Pentagon senior strategist and a retired US Army Lieutenant Colonel. Thank you. It's nice to see you again there. So we have the US there making sure that it's known that it's not supplying these weapons to Ukraine and shouldn't be used inside Russia. Why are they making that determination?
Well, once we turn over the weapons to the Ukrainians, and then they have kind of sovereign oversight as to how they're employed. Now, keep in mind, and they can put a HIMARS, which we've provided to them, near the border of Russia and strike deep inside. They've even asked for ATACMS, which are 300-kilometer missiles that could be fired from HIMARS. That hasn't been provided because the U.S. government is concerned that they would indeed be used for deep targets inside Russia. However, once that material is turned over, whether it's a lethal aid or otherwise, even intelligence information, it goes into the Ukrainian forces and they make their own sovereign decisions.
Would it be wise for Ukraine to make that sovereign decision against what the US would want?
Well, that's the calculation that Zelensky's making with the support that he's getting from the U.S. and NATO. But keep in mind, as your reporter just indicated, they're taking strikes in Kyiv and Kharkiv and Odessa and the like. They're going after civilians. And, if you're in the military in Ukraine, you want to defend your country. You see that you have attacks that are, crippling your infrastructure, that are killing your civilians. And so it's understandable why they want to reach out and discourage the Russians from being so provocative and so, really unconscionable acts of brutality against the civilian population. So though this is a war, it's certainly a war that is being staged between two countries, but clearly there are other countries that are directly involved. As you indicated, the U.S. has already given $20 billion worth of arms to Ukraine to defend itself. Now, what they do with that, to a certain degree, is really in their hands.
So just very quickly, last question I'll get to put to you. Ned Price, he stopped short of attributing those drone attacks to Ukraine, and Kyiv hasn't claimed responsibility. Why wouldn't they claim responsibility if they did carry out those attacks?
Well, much like the Israelis don't claim responsibility for strikes inside Syria, the Ukrainians have nothing to benefit. They've, allegedly struck an oil facility inside Russia last June. These strikes likely used intelligence provided by external forces. I don't know if it was the U.S. or NATO or others. But they needed that intelligence. They needed the means to deliver those either through special operation forces or by flying them. And I believe that particular drone that hit one of the bases actually was flown from Ukraine, and it was an old Russian drone that was made in the 1970s during the Soviet era.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your analysis. That's Robert Maginnis, a Pentagon senior strategist. Thanks for your time.